reading the final two articles of the September 2023 MotorTrend magazine. The 2023 Genesis G90 3.5T E-Supercharged all-wheel drive. This is just a arrival. Quote, the car of the year winning G90 comes with almost everything, end quote, Alexander Stoklosa. Base price was $99,795. As tested price is $101,295, getting 1724.20 miles per gallon combined. Who wouldn't lust after a six-figure luxury car? You see a Tesla Model S waft past and get that pang of jealousy, imagining the home with the manicured lawn where it parks. Or maybe that huge Mercedes-Benz S-Class slumbers beneath a swanky downtown penthouse. It's a contrarian choice in these SUV happy times. Or perhaps a showy one. Peering back at you from behind tinted glass probably sits a cocky guy like Shooter McGavin, nervously muttering to himself, damn you people, go back to your shanties. Meanwhile, the air conditioning perfumes the cabin, and his cockles are warmed by a hot stone seat massage. Ugh, you think, what a tool. You reassure yourself that surely the snooty 1%er has their life of leisure interrupted every so often by a malfunctioning widget. A jammed power-operated trunk lid perhaps, or maybe the seat massager can't muster the right pressure. You know, tragic, day-ruining snippets of adversity we all hope will befall the owners of complex luxury cars, right up there with a market crash or tightened water use restrictions for mansions. Well, guess who's got two hands making finger pistols and is pretending to be one of those people behind the wheel of a Genesis G90 over the next year? Yep, that's us. Our cockles are quite warm, thank you. Will we look like tools or be sidelined by malfunctioning frippery? If so, will it sour our taste of the good life, like regular mustard standing in for Grey Poupon? That's what our year-long test is all about. To flip the script, we'll add adversity to the G90's existence, because none of us lives in a stately mansion or downtown penthouse with a climate-controlled garage and personal staff. It'll sit exposed to bird droppings, pollen, and the same air breathed by the unwashed masses. At least we sound as though we're pleading, believe us, we're just like you. It isn't common for us to induct a full-size luxury sedan into our long-term fleet. We're much more used to stuff like our humble Hyundai Ioniq 5, Toyota Corolla Cross, and Ford Maverick. The only other super high-end vehicle we have is the electric Lucid Air, MT's 2022 Car of the Year. Expectations here are similarly elevated, not least because if an average new car has, say, a handful of features that make you feel just a little bit more richer, maybe a digital gauge cluster or a power-operated panoramic sunroof, the G90 comes with all those and more. Such luxuries are the reasons people lust after limos like the S-Class, the Lexus LS, or the BMW 7 Series. To anyone who's ever kept a car long enough to require service beyond basic maintenance or outside warranty, those represent liabilities, yet more unnecessary stuff that could break over time. Butler, load up a few more expectations on the double. The G90's still upstart status in this class builds yet more pleasure. It has something to prove. This is Genesis' third crack at an S-Class vehicle. The first wasn't even a Genesis, it was a Hyundai Equus, a big floaty bruiser of a sedan that costs impossibly little money given its aspirations. The first Genesis branded G90 was incrementally improved and far better to drive, but still vaguely cheap compared to the best from Benz. The third effort is the first to break through, the first to truly compete with the traditional luxury players. It's so good that we named the G90 our 2023 Car of the Year. The world may be turning to SUVs and trucks, but among cars new for this year, the G90 is best on offer in the total sense. Unabashedly low-slung and proudly wearing a trunk, it's lustworthy inside and out and decadent as all hell for its occupants. It's still a deal, with no G90 starting at six figures despite a Bentley's worth of luxurious. We specifically opted for the ultimate G90, the 3.5T E-Supercharger variant, though there's only one other model, the 3.5T, which costs $10,300 less. Both get the same 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6, but the E-Supercharger version adds just that. An electric supercharger powered by a 48-volt system, which also includes mild hybridization for extended engine-off periods when stopped at lights. Power rises from 375 and 391 pound-feet of torque to 409 horsepower and 405 pound-feet. The top model also adds self-leveling air suspension, rear-wheel steering, larger 21-inch wheels, front and rear seat massagers, a Bang & Olufsen audio system, and a rear touchscreen for operating the climate controls and audio. Every G90 gets Genesis Highway Driving Assist, a semi-autonomous driving system, a biometric fingerprint driver authenticator, a UV light phone sanitizer, and a mood curator that spritzes the air with tailored scents and plays tonally appropriate music while adjusting the cabin lighting. Ooh. Genesis doesn't offer any packages on either G90 trim, though there are a few extra cost paint choices, the most exotic of which we chose. Makulu Gray in a matte finish, which looks great over our Dune Beige Napa leather and microfiber interior. The paint added $1,500 to the MSRP, bringing it to $101,295. That's proper money, though even fully loaded and outfitted like a Maybach, it's $14,355 less than the cheapest S-Class you can buy. Will we want for more? The only widgets conspicuously absent from the G90 are rear screens and perhaps a hidden drink chiller. And on a more basic level, how will the G90 hold up when treated like a regular car, parked outside most of the time on the street like Hyundai? Stay tuned as we pile the miles onto this bougie sedan. All this typing has us a little tired though, so we're off to the G90's backseat for a massage with the mood curator set to calm. Again, it's powered by a 3.5 liter twin turbo plus electric supercharger, port and direct fuel injected DOHC 24 valve 60 degree V6, making 409 horsepower and 405 pound-feet of torque with an 8-speed auto transmission, weighing 5,136 pounds, 0 to 60 in about 5.1 seconds, the quarter mile in 13.7 seconds at 101.9 miles an hour, braking from 60 and 117 feet and doing 0.83 G lateral acceleration. And the final article here, the big picture. Like driving fast cars fast? Meet the man with a job to die for. What's it like to have one of the best jobs in the world? Jerome Haslin smiles. You think my job is one of the best? Well, if you love fast cars and consider that for the past 32 years, Haslin's workdays consist of taking supercars and hypercars to their limits and beyond, then yes, absolutely. The mouth-watering roster of cars Haslin has driven includes every single Ferrari since the 355, Porsche's Carrera GT, 918, and every 911 GT2 and GT3 of the past 20 years, Bugatti's Veyron and Chiron, Pagani's Zonda, and most of Christian von Koenigsegg's outlandish creations. He just finished with the Aston Martin DB12 and is spending a lot of time driving two Ferrari prototypes, codenamed P167 and P250. The upcoming replacements for the 812 Superfast and LaFerrari hypercar. Haslin is a test driver for French tire maker Michelin, based at the company's Le Doux Research and Development Complex near Clermont-Ferrand in France. And he doesn't have the job just because he's handy behind the wheel of fast and powerful sports cars. He's an engineer by training, and even then, after hiring him, Michelin spent a further 4 years training him in the art and science of tire development. Make no mistake, tire development is both an art and a science. Although they still look as round and as black as tires have for more than a century, modern Michelins contain more than 200 ingredients, all combined carefully in a flexible, airtight structure engineered to work with the suspensions and powertrain characteristics of specific vehicles. That's why Haslin says you can't put a Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires developed on a Porsche 911 GT3 on a Ferrari 296 GTB, for example. Oh, they'll get you from A to B, but the moment you start exploring the performance envelope, they'll make the Ferrari feel like it's wearing Justin Bieber's Crocs rather than Usain Bolt's Pumas. Haslin says creating a performance tire for the 296 GTB is a lot more complicated than creating a slick for the 24 Hours of Le Mans winning Ferrari 499P racer because the road car tire must deliver consistent performance and response over a wider operating window. Race car drivers want maximum grip right at the limit, and that's a tightrope few Ferrari 296 GTB drivers will walk. I must be sure the tire is progressive at a very high speed when we do lane change or extreme maneuvers, Haslin explains. We never need to do that with the race car. It takes 18 months for Michelin to develop a new performance tire. A driving simulator as sophisticated as is used by top Formula One teams has cut the number of prototype tires needed to be built and tested by about 20%. Haslin then starts testing 4 or 5 prototype sets, winding that down to 2. Which are then taken to the customer's test track to be evaluated by their test drivers. What is important for Ferrari is the right balance. To get it, I play with the front and rear difference of lateral grip. I start with the rear axle because that is important to stabilize the car. And when I have a good rear tire, I try to select different fronts with 1 or 2 different grip levels to give Ferrari an option. But the final choice is still done by the Ferrari test drivers. This is where science meets art. Ferrari test driver Rafael De Simone knows exactly what he believes a driver should feel in a Ferrari, how the car should communicate its responses to steering and braking and throttle inputs. Porsche GT boss Adam Pruninger and Aston Martin vehicle performance director Simone Newton are no different when it comes to their cars. Haslin is in the middle of it all, not the least because those feelings start where the rubber meets the road. He must understand precisely what each automaker wants, translating engineering and chemistry into nuance and emotion. Driving is a pleasure that cannot be explained in numbers and equations, he says, with a smile. A few people know that better than Jerome Haslin. That is the end of September 2023 MotorTrend. Thanks for listening.